Hey everybody, this is Dean and I'm going to lead you through a 15-minute practice on Linus and Lucy. This is for our group piano class, and the first thing you should do when you practice is to look at your assignments for the song. Now if you're practicing for a private lesson, you probably have written some assignments, or for this group class we have this checklist here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out my checklist and see which boxes I need to work on. And the first box, the yellow boxes are the ones you should tackle first. And then if you get those, or you're a more advanced student, you can also try the green boxes too. So I need to tackle my play right hand with recording box. And before I can play it with the recording, I need to learn it in the first place. So in preparation for playing it with the recording, I'm just going to practice my right hand. And it's always a good idea to work in sections of a piece, especially when you're first learning a piece. And you'll always find patterns in music. So I'm going to look through my music, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm counting my measures here. Let me show you guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That brings me to the end of my first repeat. That seems like a really good section of the music to work on first. So let me practice those first 10 measures a few times. And that starts on my I'm sorry, I don't have my webcam set up, but it starts on my C. This is my middle C right here, and I'm 1 C above that. That's my first note there, and my thumb plays that note. Let me just set this here. So let's just try to play this together. And we always want to start to practice slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my first 10 measures. Now when we practice, we don't do something just once or really just twice. We try to repeat it a lot. So I'm going to play that again. Let's try it again. Exactly about the same tempo here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay, so we just practiced the first 10 measures of Linus and Lucy. And we started it pretty slow, but now let's see if we can increase the speed a little bit, because we're trying to get up to the tempo of the recording. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a little faster. If you could play along with that, great. If you need some more practice, why don't you rewind and try that one again, or you can pause the video and just practice some more on your own, do some more repetition until you can play it with me at that speed. After you can play those first 10 measures about at that tempo, we can move on to our next section. And looking through my music, I'm going to figure out the next section in my music, and I think it's going to start right here after my second ending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those 8 measures. Patterns in music often happen in measures, in groups, measure groups of 4, multiples of 4. So it could be 4 measures or 8 measures or 12 measures. Sometimes you will see other numbers, like 10 measures in this first section, but often it'll be a multiple of 4. So let's practice our next 8 measures. I'm going to make sure I know the name of my first note, and that's a C note, and I see that it starts with my 4th finger. So I'll get my 4th finger here on my C. That's the C above middle C. Middle C is here. But I'm starting on this C. And actually, before I play through this, I think I want to go through the notes and make sure that I can name them. So I'm going to do that. And even though I'm just practicing here by myself, I'm going to say these letter names out loud because that's always a good idea. C, 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 D. And I also want to be able to identify my rests. So that is an 8th rest there. Then I've got G, A, G, 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 C, 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 D, 8th note rest, G, 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 C, 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 D, 8th rest, G, G, C. Then I have a whole rest. A whole rest gets 4 beats, and it looks like a hole in the ground that comes down from the line. That's how I know it's a whole rest. Now that I know exactly what notes I'm playing, well, actually, if you have learned your note names already, and you know those notes, I think you should pause the video and go through and say the names of each one of the notes on your own, and I will see you after you pause it. If you don't really know your note names yet, that's okay. You can skip this part. That's fine. Or you can skip saying the names of the notes, but I think you can still work on this one. You should probably be able to find your high C above middle C, and we're going to start with our 4th finger. Remember, piano always numbers fingers starting with our thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 on a high C. And for right now, I'm going to say my finger numbers. I won't be moving my hand position. I'll be keeping my hand position here, and I will say the finger numbers that I'm playing. 4, 4, 4, 5. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. That was actually just the first 2 measures of this new section. Let's try that phrase again. 4, 4, 4, 5. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Moving on. Then 4 beats of rest. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was my second section of the piece, and I'm going to repeat that again. Good practice always involves repetition. So let's try this again. I'll count to 4 and then we'll practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and. And let's repeat one more time so that we've practiced it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was three times through. I think that's the minimum amount of times you should do something when you practice. That means the least amount. It should be 3. It could be 5, it could be 10, or even 20 times that you repeat as well. Now, I want to try to really analyze this to help me learn it. And I'm noticing a pattern here. I noticed that on these first 2 measures, it goes C, 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 D, G, A, G, A, G, A, G. Then if I look at these 2 measures, they're an exact repetition of these. It's the same thing again. C, 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 D, G, A, G, A, G, A, G. And if I look at these next 2 measures, that's also an exact repetition. So if you can identify the patterns that are happening in music, it makes it much easier to learn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those 6 measures there are really just the same 2 measures repeated 3 times. So let's see if we can try to memorize that 2 measure pattern here. Here we go. So my 2 measures go like this. It's pretty short. I think I can memorize that. I'm gonna do it one more time looking at my music. Okay, now I think I have it, and since I'm trying to memorize this, I'm gonna close my book. Then, if I don't have it memorized, I'll really know it because I won't be able to play it. Let me try it from memory. I've got my 4th finger on my C. 3, 4. That was it. Now that I have it memorized, I can actually play that whole section because I know that it's the same 2 measures repeated 3 different times. Let's try that. 3, 4. And then at the very end, we just end with this C. A whole note C. Nice. Let me try that one more time. Do some repetition here. 3, 4. Great, and the minimum amount of times we're going to try to repeat things is 3 times, so I'm going to try it again. 3, 4. Cool. And my 15 minutes is almost up. So to end my practice session, I think I'm going to go back and try the whole section that I worked on today, which is actually the first section of music and the second section. Let's try all that together. So from the very beginning now. 1, 2, 3, 4. It repeats back to the beginning. now on to my second section, fourth finger on C. Yeah, that was a pretty good practice session. If you have a few more minutes, why don't you try go back through measures 1 all the way through where we played 2. Why don't you do that 2 more times, and then, or if you have times, do it 4 more times. Then you will have either played it 3 times or 5 times, and that's really good repetition. All right, thanks for practicing with me today. Have a great day.